It is episode number 71 of the River City Hardball podcast, made possible by our friends at 925 Partners Insurance and Collins Builders. Andrew Gibson, your host, with you tonight, and a great pleasure to welcome in head coach Mike Boswell of the Bolles Bulldogs and one of his standouts, Jackson Baumeister, on his way to Florida State. And Jackson and Coach Bos are on tonight. One of the best combinations of head coach and player that you'll find in the Jacksonville area. Jackson just threw a perfect game last week. Guys, welcome in. Coach Bos, this has been a long time coming. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And Jackson, man, go back to that perfect game. You threw a perfect game with 13 strikeouts the other night against Benedictine, a good program out of Savannah, Georgia. What was that perfect game like for you, Jackson?
So coming into the game, we knew we were, again, they're a really good program, and we knew that coming in, and we knew we were going to have to get something going, and luckily my teammates got it for me in the first, threw up a 4 spot in the first inning, and after that I was really able to just get in my zone and get comfortable. So I guess that's it.
Boz, as you were watching this game, I mean, what stood out from you or for you for this game?
Well, and we talked about this at the end of the game. Jackson's our number one, and he has been for a while. And he's pitched in all the big games for us. And he was early this year. He's always been under pressure, meaning they're all the games are really close because we're playing really good teams. When he went out and pitched in that first inning, it was awesome. We knew that they were going to be in for a long night. And then we came up and scored 4, and allowing Baumeister Jackson to just relax and take control like he did, it was, just like they call it, perfection. I mean, he had complete command. He threw 68 pitches and 55 of them for strikes, which is unheard of. And he threw all 3 pitches for strikes. And there was probably about 40 or 50 scouts in the stands, and they were pretty impressed.
Jackson, what was going through your mind, man, during this game? I mean, did you feel like, this could be a special kind of night?
So I actually didn't really realize it until about the 3rd or 4th inning. I started to notice it because nobody in the dugout was talking to me. And, I'm a pretty social guy. I like to be involved in the game, and I'm sitting on the bench all by myself, just kind of like, oh, wait, that is going on. And I kind of just tried not to think about it and tried to support my teammates as good as I could.
Jackson, what was working so well? Coach Boswell just mentioned you had 3 pitches working for you. From your perspective and being on that mound, what was going so well for you?
So, like you said, I had all 3 of my pitches working: my fastball, my curveball, my changeup. I think the ability to throw first pitch strikes and get ahead in the count early was the biggest factor for me, because being ahead in the count, I can go to any 3 pitch and just really play with guys. And so the pitch calling was fantastic that night. It felt like every single time that I had a pitch in my head, that's exactly what was called. And like he said, it was a perfect night. It was.
Mike, tell us about Jackson's selection on the mound, those 3 pitches.
Yeah, he pitches off his fastball, and everybody gears up for that fastball because it's really good. It's an exploding fastball. He was 93, 94, pitching at 93, 94 most of the night. And when you're able to throw your changeup at 78 and a breaking ball at about 82, like I said, he made some good hitters not look like they were very good. And I don't think that they weren't very good. I just think he was that good that night.
Jackson, what's your favorite pitch to throw of that mix of 3?
It has to be the fastball. I feel like although some kids may throw harder than me, I feel like I have exceptional command and the ability to get that swing and miss factor that a lot of kids can't. And so I think definitely the fastball.
And Mike, that to me, and I know you don't know this as well, just the command of having the strike zone and being able to throw strikes. And as Jackson mentioned, that first pitch strike is so important, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's the starting with strike 1 is what we try to emphasize for every pitcher. And we know that the other team's trying to do the same. And when you have stuff like Jackson has, it's pretty dynamic.
Jackson Baumeister on his way to Florida State University. We'll get into that in just a few moments. His head coach is Mike Boswell from the Bolles School, joining us right now on episode 71 of River City Hardball. Jackson, how did you feel whenever you completed that perfect game?
Honestly, I was a little upset. And hear me out. It was the 6th inning. I think it was 8-0 going into that last inning, and we run ruled them. We got 10 runs across, and one of my best buddies, our first baseman Matthew Anderson, hit the game-winning double to push the last 2 runs across, and my heart kind of sank because it felt like there's an asterisk next to it still. I mean, it was a perfect game, but it was a 6-inning perfect game instead of the 7 innings. So I feel like there's that little extra notch that I can still go up to, and honestly, it might be for the best. It's still something to chase after.
Yeah, and Mike, that'll drive you a little bit further, won't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was funny. I messed with our pitching coach and catching coach. I went to him after he finished his 6th inning. I said, "Hey, we're going to go with somebody else for the 7th." And I thought both of them were going to fall out of their chair because, of course, they knew what was going on. And yeah, I would have loved to have seen him throw the 7th, but there wasn't a good swing on him all night, so there's no asterisk next to it. I sure would like to see him do it again Wednesday, but we'll see.
Bolles 15-3 so far, a very good baseball team, as you know, here in Jacksonville. Mike, you've done this a long time. How many perfect games have you seen?
That's the first one I got to be a part of. So,
that is pretty amazing.
Baseball for 25 years. Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've been at it a long time. And, speak to that. We talked over text the other night, and you said it was a special night. What made it a special night for you?
It was so special because we were playing a big-time team with a big-time arm coming in. This left-hander that pitched for them, Holton Carter, was getting a lot of accolades, and talking to a lot of scouts during the week, and people texting me saying, "Hey, good luck hitting 97. You guys have no chance." And I'm like, "You know who I got going, right?" I said, "That guy's pretty good too, and I'll take him any day of the week." And so that's why it was special, because I think like Val said, he gets a little bit underrated. I mean, he's a very highly profiled guy, but when he only throws 94, 95, some of those guys throwing 96, 97, but as far as the complete command, he went out there and showed why he should be one of the top guys in the country.
Jackson, absolutely. Jackson, does that kind of stuff, does that put maybe a chip on your shoulder a little bit when you hear guys, the opposing pitchers throwing 97? Does that kind of get you fired up a little bit?
I wouldn't say a chip on my shoulder. I definitely feel as if, though, when I get in those high-intensity situations, though, I sort of tend to intensify my focus. So never really trying to get to, I'm going to go out there and throw harder than this guy, but really just focusing on my craft and my process and knowing what I'm trying to accomplish when I get on the mound. So I think that when I get in those high-intensity situations, my focus just intensifies.
Jackson, you're on your way to Florida State. Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
I want to add to that. A reason Jackson's so highly sought after is because it's so easy for him. He's so fluent, and the ball jumps out of his hand. And other guys that throw the 96, 97 are big-time effort guys, and Jackson's not a big-time effort guy, meaning everything flows naturally for him. And that's why someday he will be throwing 98, 99, 100. And that's not too far away for him.
Well, and you speak to that, having a mid-90s fastball and the potential to go higher than that with the control is also a very extra special thing to have, because a lot of guys, as you know, Coach, that'll throw 97, they may not have the command that Jackson will have, right?
That's exactly what you saw the other night.
Jackson, you're on your way to Florida State University. Tell me about why the Seminoles, why are you going to FSU?
So I grew up a Florida State fan. My dad went to Florida State. I think I started going to football games as a 1-year-old. So that was always my number one choice. It was always the dream to play baseball at the Florida State University. And so I was offered a scholarship at a summer camp going into my freshman year as an 8th grader. And it was an immediate yes. It was the stars aligned.
So Mike Martin Sr., I guess, would have been at that time the one offering you to go to FSU, right?
Yes, sir. And we kind of had a hunch going in that he wouldn't be my head coach. And it's so fortunate that Coach Martin Jr. got the job, and really couldn't be happier.
What do you think, Jackson, of Mike Martin Jr.?
He was a big part in my recruitment. I think he was the one that offered me my scholarship. So Obviously, he has a great track record, and he's been at Florida State for a very long time. Has coached a lot of players that are much better than I am. So going into Tallahassee, I have complete confidence that I will elevate my game even more.
Mike, tell us about Jackson going to FSU.
Yeah, I'm tickled for him. He, like you said, he's always been a FSU fan, and I knew a lot of teams were going to be really highly recruiting him, even at a young age, because he came over and worked out with us as an 8th grader, and you could tell that arm was dynamic and that he was going to have a lot of people after him. And I knew that once Florida State made that offer, and I knew that no doubt they would, I knew that that's where he would be. So, which is I'm so proud of him that that's where being able to go to your dream school, that's something special.
Jackson, I know that for someone of your talent level and going to a program like Florida State, I have to imagine that the Major League Baseball draft is going to come around. Have you given thought to that? Are you going to go to college no matter what? What's your opinion on that?
So obviously there has been some thought to it. There hasn't been a lot of thought to it. I would say given the opportunity, I sincerely doubt that I would be able to turn down that type of once-in-a-lifetime kind of miracle thing to happen. Obviously, it's been a dream of mine since I was picking up a bat at 2 years old to play in the major leagues. But my heart's set on Florida State. There's definitely no set decision at this point. And like I said, given the opportunity, it would be hard to say no.
Mike, I think it appears that he has that kind of potential, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely he does. And he'll have a tough decision here in a couple months, no doubt. So it's he's got everything that it takes to be a big leaguer. And I'm sure there's no doubt whichever way he chooses in 2 months, he'll have a lot of opportunities down the road also if he chooses to go to Florida State. So he's in a win-win situation right now.
Final few moments with Mike Boswell and Jackson Baumeister from the Bolles School in Jacksonville. Mike, you got a pretty good team here this year. You're out to a 15-3 start. Tell me about the start you guys have and what you have coming up on your schedule this week.
Yeah, we got a real good we're off to a good start. I think we could have been better. And we've lost 3 games by a total of 4 runs. So we're doing everything we need to do. When Bow goes out once a week and Sully Bracken behind him, and we've got, we're pretty deep at the pitching, our pitching staff. We've got a big week this week. We got Trinity coming in tomorrow at home. They're one of our region teams. And then on Wednesday, we get Episcopal out of Episcopal who's in our district, and, they're ranked right behind us. So it'll be a big test for us Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mike, as we let you guys go, if a scout or a college coach or someone comes to you and says, tell me about Jackson Baumeister, what do you tell them?
I tell him, I said, you got to watch him pitch and just watch the total focus he has on the mound. He talked about when he comes to the dugout, he likes to be fun and loose, which is he's still a kid at heart, and I love that part about him. But when it's time to go, it's time to go, and he knows how to turn that switch, and he goes. It's pretty neat to watch.
Jackson, I think you guys are going to have a special season as we move forward. You're, 20 or so games into this season. How do you feel about this season, Jackson?
So we have a very old team. We have, I think 7 or 8 starters that are seniors. And having come through the Bolles program with basically my brothers at this point, it's really special that we get to take the field these last couple weeks together and go out there and beat teams together. So I really think that close-knit nature of our team and inside the dugout and in the clubhouse, I think that's going to propel us through the playoffs, and I really don't think there's a team that can stop us.
I think you guys are on to a special season and a special finish as we move toward the championships here pretty soon, the next few weeks and months. Mike Boswell, the head coach at Bolles, Jackson Baumeister on his way to Florida State out of the Bolles School. Guys, this was great stuff. I could do it all night, but really appreciate your time, Coach, and you too as well, Jackson.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Andrew.
I appreciate you having us on. Thank you.